In this video we are going to look over this Canon AE-1 Program 35mm film SLR camera equipped with the Canon 50mm FD f1.8 lens, and it comes also with this Skylight 1B filter. Looks a little dirty, and this unbranded generic front cap. This camera also includes the action grip, which is often lost from this model, and it's shared with the A1 that I know of. I'm just going to take this off here so we can look at that. This is the little action grip piece, and it is missing from a very high percentage of these cameras that are available, and it just slides onto that little rivet there and then screws into place. And you have to take this off to get at the battery door. And another really nice thing about this camera is that the battery door itself is in very good condition. These are often broken or cracked or damaged in one way or another. So there, we're just going to pop that open. I've got a battery here for testing purposes. We're going to put that in and just give it a try here. So here we just put the action grip back on and tighten it a little bit with a penny. So what we have here now is the camera ready to go, and there we heard the shutter working. It's got a locking where it will not fire when that is on that position, so we're going to turn it back to where it's active. And let's just step down through these shutter speeds. Here's 1/1000th, 1/500th, 1/250th, 1/125th, 1/60th of a second, 1/30th of a second, 1/15th, 1/8th, 1/4th, 1/2 second, 1 full second, and then this camera even has a full 2-second setting. And the bulb setting, where the lens stays stopped down, the shutter stays open as long as I hold the button. If we were to set this back on a higher speed and set for the timer, we can do that. Here we hear it counting, beeping a little bit. And as it gets closer to the time here, so we saw that worked. And then this also has a stop down preview button here, so if we want to do that, and it's a locking one, and we can undo it like that. Just flip the little lever forward and back off. So that's working well. And let's take the lens off for just a moment here. The focus feels nice and smooth. The aperture ring has nice clicks, and this one has the locking A setting that you'll need for the program mode on this camera. This is the FD mount. It is incompatible with the later EF autofocus mount. Okay, mounts properly. What I thought I'd do here is now open up the back, and we can watch the shutter curtain operate a few times. There we go. Can verify that film transport is working properly, which it is. Moving across here to the back, feel a little bit of dried residue along the door edges. So the light seal material has been breaking down a little bit. Pretty dry there, but probably still serviceable. But at some point that will need to be done, and I don't know for sure how urgent that is. One thing I thought I'd do here while we have it is to shine a light through the back of the lens. The Canon FD lenses are a little bit difficult to get wide open without them mounted onto a camera body. So what I'm going to do is hold the shutter button down on the B setting, and then we're going to look through the lens with it set wide open at f1.8 with an LED flashlight through the back. And when I do that, I see some internal specks. I don't see big blobs of fungus, but I see lots of tiny little points that light up. So be aware of that. I know it probably doesn't show very well in the video, but I'm seeing lots of points, no big patches of ugly fungus, but be aware of that. It actually doesn't look that bad when you just look through. And I can look through the lens toward my blue background here, and I can see things in the background, my fingers in front, but there are a lot of spots in there. Okay, so that's done. Here's where we set the ASA value, and I did verify that the light meter behaves as it should at different amounts here. I didn't check exact values, but just relative, that as you go to higher ISO versus lower ISO, the meter responds in the right general way. The strap on this camera is, the strap itself is fine. The rubber pad is quite dry and cracked and worn out here, I would say, but it's serviceable. The filter threads on the lens are good, and the cap fits. The rewind crank looked good. So, fairly nice example of the Canon AE-1 Program camera, introduced in the early 80s as a follow-up to the original AE-1. This one added the program mode and I think a few other features. I don't remember exactly what they are. But fairly nice example. The only thing it looks like it may need in the near future would be light seals, and that's probably not urgent.